Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Glad you made it. It's not a social production. That's right. We're doing it on February the 4th, 2026. That's right. Welcome back. Wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, Toronto, further down south, the United States of America, further down south, Mexico, further down south, South America, over there, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, of course, Senegal, Portugal, Taipei, Type B, and Type C, over there in Zimbabwe, over there in Cote d'Ivoire, over there in Italy, France, Spain, all around the world, the Koreas. May we one day unite both of the Koreas. Who knows? It doesn't matter. The point is that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you. Get a sip of this bad boy right here. Almost spilt it all over the floor. Edging. Almost spilt it. It's what we're all about. Almost spilling it. To all my pussy lovers and cock connoisseurs, we got a lot to discuss and lots of fun to be had. Let's just get right into it. But the biggest, Epstein, what's going on with Epstein? So much more files have been dumped. 3.3 millions of files. Is it 3 million in total, right? 3.5 in total, or is it just 3 million in addition to the millions of files that have already been handed out? Oh, man. I'll say this. At this point, it's just much easier to ask the people who have not fucked little kids or who have not been involved with Epstein to raise their hands, because it seems like the majority of people, everybody seems to be somehow connected to this operator, agent of havoc, agent of chaos, wheeler and dealer, a city slicker. Who knows what this guy was? All dirtbag. Okay, let's just break it down. Things I've seen, things you might have seen. Questions are still pending and accumulating. Let's just deduce and deduct one item at a time. There's a lot to discuss here today. Epstein. And again, for people who've done fuck shit, these people love to be on camera. For people who loved to do fuck shit with underage minors, or just underage, that's redundant to say minors when you're saying underage, but it doesn't matter. Underage, you know what I'm talking about. That young puss or that young cack, that's not even, who knows, but these people were into it. And again, not camera shy, for people who like to do fuck shit. A new video of Epstein has been released of him chasing girls in his kitchen. Again, I don't know what his relationship was. Did he have any kids? I don't think he had any kids, right? Not. From what I don't believe so. Or how would we know though? How would we know? Because apparently it's a family that's connected to, who knows, all the way back to even Hitler. Apparently, again, many things. I try to grasp as much as I can. Again, 3.5 or 3 million in addition to the already millions of files existing. So there's just a lot to cram in there. And apparently his family, the Epstein family, along with the Rothschilds, funded a hostel for Hitler. Not specifically for Hitler, but they funded a hostel in Vienna and Hitler when he was just an artist or a struggling artist. Apparently he went there and he crashed there, and I don't know what he did, but we all know what happened afterwards. So connected to Hitler? God damn. He's one of those families, apparently, allegedly. I don't know. Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell. Who is this guy? Let's get this bitch yapping a little bit, shall we? Who is her father? Mossad agent, KGB agent, MI6 agent, maybe part of CIA, who knows? Get this bitch on the stands. Can I have 5 minutes with her? 5 to 10 minutes. Let me just ask a few questions. All right. Sign the affidavit, grab a gavel, hit it down, jury dismissed. This is an in-court sesh. Oh God, so many questions. He's chasing young girls around the kitchen. I don't know if he's already done the dirt with them or he's about to do the dirt with them. God, disgusting. Oh, you should not be chasing anyone. If young kids are not related to you in any shape or form, do not be chasing around. Motherfucker be chasing around young girls like they're rabbits and he's hunting out there. God. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton are due in court, I think, to testify.
Because it is time, brothers and sisters, to once again get down and testify. Can I get an amen up in this bitch? Let us all testify.
They're about to testify because they try to deny it. They're like, we're not going to testify. And then they found out that they're going to be held in contempt. And I don't know what that means, but you don't want to be held in contempt of the court, son. I don't know what that means at all, but like, the contempt it's holding tight. Got a grip on me, this contempt. Billy Gates, William Gates. Tell you this, my boy, if it's still burning, if you don't know by now, many people do know, but apparently it's what happens. You meet up with it, you got your wife, and then you're like, it makes perfect sense. This is during the, around Sopranos time, if I'm not mistaken, so everybody wants to get a guma. Who don't want to get a guma? Gumas want to get a guma. You want to have some gabagoo and get yourself a guma or two. So he's got the millions and billions of dollars, hits up Epstein, allegedly at one point or another, somehow they get connected. And he's out there getting sloppy toppy from Svetlana over there. She gave him apparently STD. I don't know. He gave her STDs or she gave him STD. They switched around. They played around with STTs. It was a cesspool of STTs. Little of the clap, little of the crabs, little of the old gonorrhea. Oh, burnage when you're leaking from your urethra. Maybe the podcast's name today, maybe the episode name will be Billy G and the Burning Urethras. Nonetheless, he allegedly, at one point, there's emails. I don't know who initiated the email, because there's apparently talks between Epstein and Bill. I don't know if he responded or not, but somebody wanted medication, specifically antibiotics, to get rid of the said STTs that he allegedly picked up from Russian whore Svetlana. I don't know her name, but it sounds like a good one. We'll keep it anonymous. Svetlana, tight puss, fake tits, but like the good kind of fake tits. Because there's like a lot of bad fake tits, but there's like the good kind. That's where the money comes. You get the good kind, it's better than the real shit. So I've heard. I've never practiced. I've never, touched fake tits because I keep it real up in this bitch. But should the opportunity afford itself, and by that I mean pay for itself and, pull its own weight or whatever the fuck, I'll touch a couple of fake titties. What even is fake? So it burns. He gave Melinda Gates the STDs. Wanted to crush little antibiotics into her food, like how you'd feed a pet dog. Medication you put in their food so they don't notice. So he'd be fixing her drinks and shit. Here, have this sangria. Here, have this punch, and he'd rim it like how you'd rim a cocktail with like salt and shit. She'd be like slurping, and she's like, this doesn't taste like salt, but guess what? It doesn't burn at least now. Melinda, let's get married. Fuck this guy. Let's take all the billions and do wild shit with it. What? Did we just propose? I think we just did. Another proposal gone live. Still waiting for answers to be heard from the Korean sister, the North Korean dictator's sister, Kim Jong-un's sister. If I'm still waiting. And Russian President Vladimir Putin's daughters, if any of them are also available. And I'm open to other people as well out there. But I'm just putting Melinda. Let's fuck these hoes outside the country, outside the Western Hemisphere. Let us buckle down and just ride off to the sunset or towards the sunset or get some suntan lotion. I don't know. I once experienced some burnage myself, I'm not gonna lie. But I dealt with it like a man. You drink some cranberry juice, you avoid the doctor, and eventually your body says, hey, I better get rid of this on my own. And it did, it went away. It felt good. What else is going on? So who knows who gave what to whom? If it's even real, we don't know. But nonetheless, I like to think it is. You look at Bill Gates and you're like, yes, you would be talking about getting rid of malaria and mosquitoes if your crotch is burning all the time. Yeah. Distraction, motherfucker. I see you. We see you, Bill. Let's amp up these mosquitoes so they kill the mosquitoes with malaria and then carry more malaria with the mosquitoes. Yeah, you'd be talking that shit. I'd be talking that shit too, son. If it was burning and I'm trying to, dose people with antibiotics. Who knows what's going on? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. But Norway, the Norwegian princess, crown princess, Apparently she was in contact with, who was not in contact with this guy? Who is not in contact with this guy? Norwegian princess. Loved the guy, chatted him up. Apparently discussed going on like hunts for wives. I don't know who the wives are for, but we all know wives in this context is more like whores. So let's not kid ourselves. Wife hunting. Her son, the Norway's princess, her son is being caught up in a court case or two or three, or a bunch of court cases, amid allegations of rape and shit. So that's, again, who knows? Lots going on. Jeez Louise. Magician David Copperfield has been named several times. I don't know, a lot of people have been named. Again, a lot of people may have just been, acquaintances, little meetups, get-togethers, but this guy's been around for some time. I hope to hear more of it, more clarity, more light to be shed on this matter, and we're all waiting, and it's fun. I got bored of it a little while ago, but then it just re-enticed my appetite for it, so I'd like to hear some more. I'd like to hear more. And by the way, we are looking for future Epsteins out there. If you are into partying, throwing parties, lavish parties, getting hoes on yachts, 2 islands. There's this guy's gone now, allegedly. He's gone now, but we need more. And there are some apparently operating at this time as we speak, but we do need more because the world goes round, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't stop just because a motherfucker pedophile died. We need more of these guys. Low key, dial it back on the pedophilia, but everything else. We do need fixers and matchers to go out there and rub elbows with elites, make deals happen, all right? Secretary of Business from the UK, Peter Mandelson. He got funded by Epstein. Apparently his emails going back. This guy was this business secretary, which is one of those terms I like. It's ambiguous, it's high level, it's your elite, you're in the House of Lords, it's elite shit. It's one of those words, it's no-show jobs, which I'm a big fan of. What do? I'm the Secretary of Business. Ring, ring. Who is it? Can we get a hold of this business? I'm afraid he's caught up in a business meeting right now. He's very busy. I'm the Secretary of Business. I'll take your message if you like. I'm the Secretary of Business. Right there, hangs up the phone. Secretary of Business. No tits, this guy, but he's a secretary, so you all know what kind of fellow this guy is. Apparently he took money from Epstein. This was back in the day, under another prime minister, not currently right now, but he was getting money during the the world economic crash, 2007-8 period, or I believe around that time. Peter Mandelson. So many people have been named. Many people have been getting monies. Many people have been getting blowies, handies. Some of them may have been with overage, but the ones that we're particularly interested in, the underage ones. We want to know who did what with whom and bring out more receipts. And by the way, this whole thing, we got to keep the victims safe. It's already, the worst part has already happened. Let's not use that excuse. We got to keep the victims safe and not release documents. We got to protect the victims. Nobody cares about the victims. This isn't about the victims. Come on, get your head in the game. But again, there's an opening. If you're out there, if you're into, wanting to fucking rub elbows with the socially elite upper echelon people in entertainment and diplomats, foreign dignitaries, if you like throwing parties, wearing masks, burning effigies, standing in a circle, holding each other's cocks, bending over, sniffing each other's assholes, giving each other, rectal exams, milking each other while on a wooden table, being whipped, putting whipped cream in all your orifices and licking it up. And maybe some other horrific shit as well. Maybe blood sacrifice, who knows? Maybe devil worship, who knows? What else could, maybe conjuring spirits, who knows? Weird, freaky shit. If you're into that, we are looking and hiring at this moment. There is a lot of backlash coming from this story, and a lot of people are like, I'm kind of a fella or a lady who likes to hang with different crowds and connect people. I'm not so much into the pedophilia. Can I still apply? Yes, we're actually because we're not looking for pedophilia either. We're looking for people who are looking to link other people and make connections and gather intel and information. All right, spy shit. Who was he? Get Ghislaine Maxwell. Let's have her talk a little bit, shall we? Because this bitch has been silent for far too long. But I'm excited. I know you guys are all excited. Who knows? At this point, I do want to know, where was your grandmother? Where's your uncle? Where's your aunt? Because apparently, once again, this motherfucker knew everyone and touched base with and made contact with a lot of people out there. So again, I'd like to ask the people who were not in contact with Epstein to raise their hands at this point. I think it's getting easier to count this way. Skirt. To lighter topics, IVF mix-up in Florida gave a beautiful Caucasian couple a beautiful brown baby. Beautiful white folks, beautiful whiteys out there, beautiful white couple did the IVF and they ended up with a brown baby. This has happened before, not too many times, but apparently they're suing simultaneously in my own personal life. I ran into somebody. I ran into a lady. I ran into this bitch. Don't ask me where and how, but I met this bitch. She was visiting from New York. She dropped by in Toronto to pick up embryos. All right, and then she's delivering the embryos to somebody in Argentina, she told me. This bitch is from New York, picking up embryos in Toronto, dropping it off in Argentina. And I asked, how much does this thing cost? She's like, at least like 50 grand, and it could go even higher depending on, I don't know all the procedure, but it's a pretty penny. So people want these babies. God. I didn't even know this. I just thought they just like ship it, or you're like there in person and you just mix and match the embryos and the sperm and the egg and you just do it there. But apparently so sometime you might be seeing a bitch or a fella, a player or a pimp, and you're like, I wonder what they got in their briefcase. You don't know what people have in their briefcases, dog. That's what I'm saying. They might be carrying embryos. Embryos. What's in your suitcase? An apple? Some receipts? Some IOUs? No, it's some jizz and some eggs spun in a laser-infused microwave. I don't know what they're doing, man. People are spending so much money to get these babies they wanted, but apparently, again, this couple got a brown baby. Now they're suing. They love the baby. They're going to keep the baby, which is good. Things you could do to ease this, if you don't want the kid to notice, start bleaching his skin early. He's young right now. You got until he becomes conscious of like his body and aware of like society and all that stuff. Bleach his skin, bleach it, or you're like, that's a baby, then get a tan, get lots of tans to just kind of like even out. If you don't ever want to discuss him being adopted, because if it was a white baby, you'd have options. You could tell him, you could not tell him. With this baby, it's a little bit like, still, if people do ask, or if people even hesitate to, recognize it as your biological baby, just like double down, be like, it's our baby. It's genetically impossible, but we did it. It's our baby. We're the biological parents. That's right. Two beautiful whites. We can give birth to browns. Could that happen? I'm sure it could. You go with yes, it could happen. You go with yes, it could if anybody asks. If you don't want to tell the baby that he's adopted. There's got to be retribution, of course. Retribution. Find out whoever gave the DNA to that brown baby. Find them, impregnate them with your white baby. Or, well, I don't know if yours works. I don't know if your DNA works. Your jizz and your eggs might be a little bit sus, but I'd get some white jizz and egg, and I insert it into the brown donors, make them give birth to a white baby or a slightly lighter baby, and then have them go through that whole mix-up of having to explain to people as to why they've got a light-skinned baby while they're two beautiful browns. Yeah, let's all be awkward now. Fucking A. It's not fun having those conversations, is it? But they're suing right now, so that's fine. Oh, good Lord. I deny the whole thing. If I were the parents and I got a brown, I deny the whole, we gave birth to you this way. You came out of dad's sack and mom's ovaries and fallopian tubes. All right, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Identify as white, by the way, when you go around. It's just what it is. If anybody questions you, you whip out your wallet, you show them your mom and dad, and that's how it happened. Miracle of life. Human population has been on your minds. Many people have been asking, how many people are in the world? 8.2 billion, is that right? Is what some people ask. Others say it might be higher. Others say it might be lower. Others are, like myself, very confused. Because I just take it for granted. I'm like, somebody counted this shit. Somebody counted all the people. How do you even count all the people? Because some people, I read an article, it said populations in rural areas of the planet are heavily, heavily underestimated and undercounted, like somewhere between 50 to 80%. 50 to 80%. So we might be, you know, potentially hundreds of thousands, millions. What would make, you know, what would make people, you know, what if we have an extra like 500,000? What if it's like 8.7? I mean, it's, you know, you'd like to know where you stand. You'd like to know where you stand. I'd like to know, is it 8.2? Is it 8 could it be another extra billion there? Could it be a billion people extra? Could it be like, could we be at 9 billion? Because who counts everybody? How do you keep tabs on everybody? You can't, not like, it's difficult. We're getting there. We're getting there with the facial recognition, digital IDs coming around, you know, 15-minute cities, this, just everybody being in a database. It's good stuff. We will eventually get everybody, but up until now, it is debatable. And then some people are saying, no, the numbers actually ballooned up. They're not as high as they say they are. Apparently, Chinese populations is apparently not 1.4. Apparently, I heard that. It might not be 1.4. They're saying maybe, and again, how do you count 1.5, 1.4 billion of people? It's so, families sometimes don't even know how many people they've got in their family. I myself, if you ask me off the top of my head, how many people do you have in your family? I mean, what have we been talking about? You know, immediate people that I speak with, or people who are like connected, you know, through blood and shit? Because it ranges. It could be a very low number, or it could be a little bit bigger. How do you keep account of people? I just do want to know that. Low-key it would be, and it's one of those things. What if the Chinese just said they're 1.4? What if the Indians just said they're 1.4? And we just take that shit, because numbers are powerful, right? You're like, oh, they might not have the full, you know, force of the tech. They might not be, you know, quite as first world as us, but in terms of, you know, because population is a source of power. You're like, oh, but they've got 1.4 billion. We must not, whatevs. But maybe they don't then. Maybe they got like, you know, 700 million. Who would know? Who would know? Would you look at a Chinese guy or a lady and be able to tell by looking at their eye how many people they've got in their country? You wouldn't. And if you'd ask, what would they say? 1.4? They're not going to tell you, you know, who counted though? I want to know who counted. How do you count that many people? So it is moving forward from now on. I will still say around 8 billion, 8.2, but I you know, for the viewers and listeners and myself, we're going to, you know, say 8.2, but also who knows, right? It could be lower or higher. Could be lower or higher. You say it's higher, that way you're like, oh, we got way too many people, and it's like what if it's 6 billion people? What if it's 6 billion people? And we're like, yeah, it's close, it's 8.2, going close to, you know, 9 soon or whatever. What if it's just 6? What if it's 5? All right, what if it's 6? 5 is probably, but who'd know who'd know is what I'd like to know. Doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen, but it just caught my attention. I'd like to know how many people there are. Report yourself, write it down, jot it down. Also, stay offline, say no to the digital IDs also, you know, so I'm conflicted. I'd like to know, but I'm also like, yeah, let a couple of fellas run wild and free and unaccounted for. You'd like a few people to be unaccounted for. When the shit hits the fan, you'd like a few people to be unaccounted for. Them's the ones that comes to the rescues, or at least go off to live, you know, a very desolate life and pass on the human gene that needs to be passed on for a greater survival. Who knows? But let's keep a few unaccounted. Still on the Bible, reading it. My reading has slowed down a little bit. I've just been busy working, so I've got a little bit less time to read as of late, which is fine. It's a long read. I'm on page 460 now. Thank you very much. The Sabbath and the golden calf. The Sabbath. The Lord saith that you taketh the seventh day off, all right? And that's how you respect the Sabbath. Nobody's taking the seventh day off. There's literally, I've never seen anybody on. We live in an age of you can't take any time off. None of it. And I don't even like taking days off, but you can't even afford to take days. Most people can't afford to take a Sabbath, but that's God's word right there, because he said, I'll kill you if you don't take the day off, motherfucker. And more or less words, but you know, he'd like to kill people. God, he'd like to kill people. And he did that. He did that a whole bunch of times. People were like, we're not taking a day off. He's like, oh yeah. Oh, you're dead now. You're dead now. Crushed him with rocks or something. I don't know, but he emphasized, like, take a day off. Remember me, take a day off. The golden calf thing, I didn't even know this, the golden calf story. So apparently when Moses goes up to the mountain to grab the tablets, you know what I'm talking about? touch tablets, dog. Where'd they get the tech? He went up to the mountain to get the tablets. Took a little bit longer than expected to get back. People were like, where's Moses? We don't even know where Moses is at. Is he even coming down from the mountain, dog? They got, you know, a little bit, they were questioning themselves and they were questioning Moses. Like, where's Moses at? Is Moses coming back? Did Moses, you know, find a couple of hoes on the way to the mountain, get busy, have the family, and like run away to the other side of the mountain? They didn't know what was going on with Moses. So Aaron, his brother's like, you know what? Bring me all your earrings and rings and jewelry, and let's melt it down and build a golden calf. And they did that. And then eventually Moses got back, and then God got angry because he's like, oh, what is this golden calf you've built? And he killed a bunch of people again. Because he's like, don't go praising and, you know, worshiping golden calves and idols and shit. And I don't think they were even getting, you know, Moses was missing a little bit of, you know, just saying. Still a big fan of, you know, JC deep in my heart. That's how my relationship is. But nonetheless, the book has still not even mentioned him yet, but we're getting there eventually. I'm just saying, very fast and loose with the killings in the book. Very fast and loose. There's a misunderstanding. They just melted their jewelry to build a golden calf. You don't need to kill people all the time. But nonetheless, it happened. I'm sure good things come along the way as well, which they do. They do. It's a great book. A lot of pages. I like to read other books at this point, to be honest with you, but I'm pushing myself through. We'll see through these 6,000 words. Pages, 6,000 pages. God. British American tobacco and subsidiaries, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, this is what I found out recently. Subsidiary is one of my favorite words. I'd like to one day become a subsidiary, all right? I'm working on it, but the British American tobacco subsidiaries, apparently went to North Korea, opened up shop with North Koreans in North Korea, selling tobacco like Lucky Strike and like, you know, creating it there, farming it there, exporting it, getting the money from the North Korean tobacco farms, funding Middle Eastern terrorists who then attacked our boys and our gals. So we, through a subsidiary, basically killed our own, you know, injured some of our own soldiers and shit, which was just like fucking mind blown. But also low-key, I've always kind of had a, you know, it's just nice to find things out. And I just asked myself, how many more of our subsidiaries and different conglomerates around the world are actually funding our enemies and shit, son? Yeah, they apparently they helped fund the IRGC. Apparently they funded Hezbollah. They gave them weapons and shit. I don't know how this all works, but at the end of the day, I've always said this. If we don't want people to exist, they won't exist. This is a whole, you know, whilst it's nice to discuss Epstein and shit, whilst it's just, you know, nice to discuss this, that, and the other, at the end of the day, if we don't want things to be happening, for the most part, they won't be happening. I don't even know what I'm saying. But the point is that if we don't like somebody to be in charge, they won't be in charge. And we like anybody to be in charge of anywhere, we put them in there. We fund everything, almost everything. It's really nice. It's actually nice because you gotta have problems. You can't not live in a world where you don't have problems. Then everybody's just like, you know, fucking, then all the days become the Sabbath. You know what I mean? You gotta keep busy. But again, I'd like to become a subsidiary. I've always said this from the get-go. One of the many pillars of this podcast is one day to become a subsidiary. And that is to just be able to say, hey, is this a Gladyamadeit production? And I can be like, nah, it's a subsidiary. And then make another subsidiary on top of that. Just fucking distance myself from things that I don't even know exist right now. But again, it's just nice to have, you know, pyramid schemes and shell companies. It's nice. Moral of that story, build a shell company and, you know, fund everything and anything from multiple angles. It's fun. Because we can't have that. You can't just be like, we can't just fund our enemies. That'd be like, yo, what are you doing? We gotta make subsidiaries. That's what. But I say get rid of that. I think the facade should be lifted. I like the facade to be lifted. Let's just have open conversations. You know what I mean? Because we gotta have enemies. That's how we get better at shit. That's how, you know, you need competing forces. So let's just get rid of subsidiaries. Be like, we need to at one point get into different places, fund them so that, like, you know, one, we create conflict between like regional, potentially, power players, and also, help him out a little bit, but not too much. Watch him get stronger, and then like feed the other side, watch the other side get stronger, have them topple the one, have them fighting, and then eventually it gets strong enough, but like not ever strong enough, because we fucking got that, alien tech shit, who knows? Because they'll never be able to compete with us. Nonetheless, it's just nice to have that potential threat in the background, always having to say, you know what, guys, we gotta fucking be on our toes 24/7. Nobody's taking a day off. Rome wasn't built in a day. I just like subsidiaries, so I encourage you to become a subsidiary as well, all right? Build shell companies. That's the moral of that story. Long Beach mayoral candidate. His first name is a little bit difficult. I'm going to try my best. Reguilro, is that right? Reguilro Martinez. I think I said it right. Reguilro. Just going to go with it. Reguilro Martinez, mayoral candidate in Long Beach, appeared on telly and shouted out to all 55 gangs in the area to come out and help stop ICE or whatever. And this was like, first of all, mayoral candidate. He's not a mayor yet, mayoral candidate. But caught my attention because like, dog, that's so many gangs. I have so many questions. How do you even know all 55 gangs? How do you know there are 50? Because he said all 55 gangs, I'm calling your leaders. And then he starts naming different gangs. All the gangs he starts naming, like the Filipino gang, the Latino gang, the Crips gang, the Polka Dots gang, the Stripes gang. I'm like, how do you know all these gangs? Who knows all the gangs? I didn't even know there was 55 gangs in total in the world, but this guy says there's 55 in the region. He starts calling them out by name, saying all their gang leaders should come up and help stop ICE or what. That's, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want a mayoral candidate knowing all the gangs. That's a little bit too close to, it's too close for comfort. To 50, you should just be like, I don't know how many gangs there are, but if there are any gangs, if you want to, I'm not even promoting that, but you shouldn't put a number. Why do you know the exact number of gangs, dog? Like, are you a gang member? All 55 gangs with so much fucking, confidence. 55 gangs. How do you know it's 55? Why would you even put it that high? Like all 12 gangs, just set all 12. Maybe, diminish a few, Don't give them the edge. Why would you make 55 of them official? That's a little bit too much. At the same rate, again, conflicted. I'm like, maybe somebody should know how many gangs there are. Maybe it's a good thing that this guy knows exactly there are 55 gangs and he knows all of them by name. Maybe it's a good thing. So I'm conflicted. But, at the same rate, low key, maybe this is some like, high level Jedi mind trick shit. You call the gang leaders out to come help fight ICE and we fucking get all of them, right? It's like, you call a meeting, all the bosses come in and we're about to work together and then you lasso them in. Fucking call ICE. I'm conflicted. I don't know how to feel about it. A mayoral candidate knowing that many gangs. Again, a little bit of it is, it's tugging on me from both sides, and we all know how that feels. Ladies and gents, if I'm being completely honest, that's what the saying says, if I'm being completely honest. If I'm being completely honest, break it down. What does it even mean? Because we've all heard the saying, if I'm being completely honest, break it down. 2 words, ho. Second word, nest. If I'm being completely honest or honest. Why do we aspire to be honest? A ho nest, a nest, ho nest, hose. Break it down. Whores, hookers, ladies of the night, night walkers, day walkers, street strollers. Nest, nesting, home, dwelling, place of residence. And then we put those together and we say, if I'm being completely honest, honest. how does one even begin to become a hose nest? Why do hoes need a separate nesting unit compared to all other people? What differentiates a hoe nest from regular nests and homes? Do the hoe nests have lubricated floors, regular STD checks, perhaps a pimp or two living in-house or dropping by to visit? What differentiates a hose nest, and why do we want to become a honest? I'm just a little confused. I'm as confused as you guys are right now, trying to figure this one out. I don't know where we got this idea of, wanting to become a nest or a place of residence for hoes to get in. But you gotta, housing is a big important issue for everybody, but like, let's just tackle it for everybody then. Why do we have to say if I'm being completely honest, and you've never seen anybody fully transition into a hose net, because people say, if I'm being completely honest, and there's no hose residing in them. You don't see hoes coming in and he or she then turns into a nest of sorts, a dwelling, a place of residence, an office building, nothing, no doors, no windows, knock, knock, who's there? It's just a person, no nest in sight. If I'm being completely honest, a little bit confused. That's all I'm saying. So please, let's get a little bit of clarity here.
Because when players play, shit gets messy and you need to find out
Who's doing what, with whom, where. Somebody came in and asked a beautiful, wonderful question. How do I undo her bra? We've all been there. Thank you for that anonymous question coming in with your sharing your, vulnerable side with us. And it is a difficult question, not put out into the world that many times. People like to just, pretend like they know how to undo a bra. And everybody just, oh yeah, I know how to undo a bra. And most people don't. So I'm glad that you asked out there. So how do we undo her bra? First and foremost, identify what kind of bra she is wearing. Is it the ones with the clips, the ones with the ones that hook? Is it the hook kind? Are we talking Velcro? Is it buttons? What are we talking about? So figure out what you're working with. Sit her down, have an honest conversation. Be like, bitch, I'm gonna try to take off your bra right now, and you can either work with me or resist. We can do it this way, or we can do it that way. Whatever you like. If she plays ball, let's say she plays ball, you ask her to put her hands up, make it easy. Put your hands up like so, all right? Put your hands up. Grab the bra. A lot of people mistake this task by approaching it and thinking that they can undo the bra while the clippings, while the hooks are on the back. No, have her raise her arm like so. Rotate the bra so that the back comes to the front, right? That way you get a visual and you get to see what you're working with. Now, I know a lot of people like to do this in a fast and quick manner, but take your time, slow it down. Chicks love it when you slow it down. They love it when you slow it down, right? And also for your own sake, the experience, enjoy it. A lot of times people just fucking unhook the bra or do, the ones that can, unbutton the bra, undo the Velcro, and it's, 27 seconds and a half later, the whole thing is over with. The entire experience should be foreplay. Even the sex itself should be foreplay. So let's not even get ahead of ourselves, but undoing the bra, rotate it, bring it to the front, see what you're working with. So lean back a little bit, grab a hold of the bra and just work with it a little bit. Wiggle it around. I like to wiggle it around because a lot of times it just doesn't come undone. So you gotta wiggle her around, and tell her to lean back, tell her to just, maybe have her then lower her arms and start reading the newspaper, or have her phone in hand just to, because you want to take your time with it. You don't want to just, anybody can just do it quickly and be like, oh, the bra is off. Nah, that's for amateurs. You want to take your time. A lot of times people don't even use tools. I like to get a pair of pliers myself and start really working the bra. Because imagine this, you could use your fingers and hands to undo it. But if you use pliers or some heavy duty tools, you know what I'm talking about. A fire starter, a torch, a hammer. If you really do enough damage to the hooking mechanism, the bra will never need to be undone come a later date. It'll just be broken and undone forever. So you do one thing properly, you do everything properly. You undo that bra, you get a pair of scissors. This is what I like to do. Cut it right open. Cut it open. That bra will never be the same again. Like, I don't know if I want to bring scissors into this, knives, box cutters, I don't care. A blowtorch, you know what I'm talking about. Burn it. Get a lighter. Burn it, right? If you burn it, then that bra is done forever. No longer need to be like, oh, I don't know how to undo this. It's already been undone, all right? Sometimes you might even need assistance. Don't be afraid to seek for help. Call a neighbor. This is a two-man job. A lot of times people are like, man, gotta undo a bra. It's a lot for you to undertake, man. It's a lot for you to undertake. So call a neighbor, call a friend, call a family member. Tell them what's going on. Hey there, just ringing you up. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna need you right here ASAP. Because she wants me to undo her bra. Now you got 2 hands, 2 extra hands. That's 4 hands, all right? Pull the bra using both of your efforts in your hands. This 4 hands. Pull, rotate it, flip it upside down. You want the best way to get a bra off her is to actually invert the bra so that it is actually in a vertical manner. So that's like, it's basically going up and down her body. That way you get it sideways and to the front. You can unhook it extremely, well. And again, it's not about how fast do you do it. It's not even, sometimes they don't even want it off. Slide it down to her belly and have it, stay there. Don't ever raise it back up when you're done either. Just keep, and if she needs support, she can put on a bra, another one later on. But when it comes time to move that one, just keep sliding it down. Keep sliding it down. The average bitch, what's their height? Like 5'6", 5'8". Average height for a chick, 5'4". I don't know. You could push down the bras all the way down to their feet. You could fit probably like 20 to 30 bras on one broad. So you don't even need to take them off. Simply slide it off, slide it down, and it's off. Eventually they'll be covered with bras, like a bacon wrapped hot dog, but that's not a problem, is it? Because we all love bacon and we all love hot dogs. So there you go. I hope I've helped. If you have a remedy to undo the bra better than I have explained here, feel free to leave a comment. Don't write methods that you've used that have led to injury. It's been a safe space for a few years now. We like to keep it that way. So thank you for that wonderful question. Apparently there's rat poop and bird poop and salmonella in some of our favorite foods down in the US. I don't know if it's made its way all the way up here, but I need you to be careful out there. Because again, these fucking rats, they apparently got to Nutellas, Pringles, Cheerios, Gatorade, Tylenol, Advil. It's too much poop. There's too much fecal matter and too many varieties of foods and snacks. I've not named them all. I'm sure there's more, maybe even a little bit less. Who knows? But thousands of instances. To that I say, it's time we take back our foods from the rat feces and the bird feces and the salmonella. if you see a rat, grab the rat. Place it below your rectum. Start eating a lot of food prior. Unload a hefty, healthy dosage of your fecal matter into the rat's little face. Let him know what it tastes like. Let him know what it feels like to have fecal matter in our foods. Put out some cheese where there's a little rat family nesting nearby. And then take as soon as they come to grab it, take a giant, take some laxatives and then diarrhea all over that cheese and let them know how it feels. As for the birds, now these ones are a little bit trickier because they do fly, but that shouldn't stop you from getting fecal matter into their food. Climb a local tree. You don't need to go out of your way and be like, man, where are these birds come from? Is it one of those southern birds that has migrated and will migrate back? Doesn't matter. You can start locally. You don't need to, to worry about the tropical birds. You don't need to worry about birds in Europe or whatever. Stay local. Climb a tree. Find a bird's nest with little eggs in it, hopefully. Wait for the eggs to hatch. As soon as the babies are coming out, you take a dump in their mouth just because they're hungry. And that way, that family of birds will know how it feels to be sipping and slurping back some fecal matter. Do not be intimidated just because they can fly. They think they can dominate us by putting fecal matter in our foods. I don't think so. As for salmonella, this is probably the trickiest of all three. No one really knows what salmonella is or who she is. I believe I'm gonna say it. There's different theories. She's a hood rat. People be talking, oh, there goes salmonella again. There goes salmonella, right? She's a hood rat, all right? And treat her like the hood rat that she is. You find her and I don't know what you're gonna do with, grab her food wherever she's at. Wendy's, McDonald's, doesn't matter. You go into the kitchen and you find her order and you take a dump on her order. Her French fries covered in fecal matter. You wait for salmonella to get her order. She won't even notice the difference. Oh, must be an extra sauce, a new sauce they're trying out. She's eating it. And guess what? Fucking nipped it in the bud right there, dude. You found salmonella, you located her. Others, of course, say salmonella comes and goes, and that's what they like us to believe. Yeah. But she's always here, isn't she? She's always here. She doesn't come or go. Constant presence in your life. Ladies and gents. An Australian python. And that's a python that says, "G'day, mate." It's one of those pythons. Just ate a whole pet cat. That's right. Ingested a full cat. This is what happens when you leave the borders open. This is what happens when different migrant groups come in with different cultural attributes and try to mingle in our business. You get fucking, everybody starts acting a little bit off. So the python has now ingested a whole cat. And to that I say, it's time we take our streets back, Australia. It's time we take it all back. Dress up as a furry, step one. Lie down in the tall grass. That's where the python lives. That's where the python likes to slither. That's where the python likes to gamble. That's where the python likes to get it on. That's where the python likes to start fires. That's where the python likes to start building a home. That's where the python likes to start a family. That's where the python likes to take pictures of his said family so that he can have memories of them growing up. That's where the python likes to bring back his mistress because the wife is out to get a new jug of milk. That's where the python makes his escape out the back window just because he thinks he's going to be too fast for the guman, the mistress, and the wife to meet. He can avoid all that, but nah, that's where the python gets caught, my friends. And guess what? He's tired of running around, tired of all the lies, wants to get away, but before he gets away, he better get himself a good snack, and there you are, in a nice furry suit, a little cat, a giant cat. He's like, let me eat this giant cat right? And you're there, you're mew, 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 I'm a cat. You'll say that in your furry suit, and the python will say, good day, mate. And you'll say, good day, mate, mew, mew. And he'll eat you alive. But guess what? He doesn't know that inside that furry suit lives a giant man or a woman, an Australian man or woman with a knife, a giant knife. And that's when you shank the son of a bitch in the stomach and just slide him up, just right up and down, vertical, not horizontal, because that doesn't work. We all know how that shit goes. Open sesame. And you watch him bleed to death in front of his family, in front of his guma and wife and mistress and the children too. So that's how you take it back, man. A skydiver, if I'm not mistaken, just went through a narrow opening in a Dubai building. So there's this giant Dubai hotel in Dubai, and it's got a hole, it's got a gaping hole through this, vertical building, and a skydiver just went through it the other day. Now this could be interpreted in different ways. I'll try to break it down so that we can all understand a little bit better. Once a man goes through a narrow opening and puts it on video, and that narrow opening happens to be in a building, and that building happens to be in the Middle East, and now we basically have objects flying towards or through buildings. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. This is payback for 9/11. Yeah, because motherfuckers think that they can go through our buildings or into but we will fucking send skydivers who will go through the hole that you've built in your hotel. Let it be known that we are now fucking, you're on notice. This is an act of, we just defiled your building, because anytime anything goes through a small, narrow opening, that's basically a symbolic act of saying, you got fucked. So we sent the skydiver, our skydiver went through the hole, defiling the building, defiling the larger Muslim world at hand, and saying, we won't take this shit anymore. I think that's what it means. Again, I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's that. So we just fucked the building, and it's on video. You can watch, you can put it in reverse and watch it go faster, and it's like, watch this guy fly through this hole in the hotel in Dubai. Some might say, of course, this is just a guy who wants to, show his abilities to go through narrow openings, to which I say, I'm not the type who'll go through narrow openings and just flagrantly just talk about it and just be like, oh, look at me go through, dog. I'll just say this. A few weeks ago, it snowed a lot, and the sidewalk was not properly, shoveled or cleared out yet. And there was these fellas right in front of me, both of them walking, really, just kind of middle of the sidewalk, not taking a particular side to have room for other people to pass by. And I just walk right in between that narrow opening. And again, I didn't do this with cameras or crews around. We didn't make a whole show out of this to be like, oh, look at us go through narrow openings. But some people are, doing everything for the limelight, doing everything for attention. We live in the age of attention and clickbait and content. Just, another instance that I could think of right off the top of my head, entering a building, wanted to get into the elevator. Somebody had already pressed close as I was getting closer to the elevator, but I managed to slip in through the narrow opening of the elevator. I got jammed in the middle a little bit, but I squeezed myself in. I squeezed it in. I said, excuse me. And they're like, just get the next. I'm like, yeah, thank you. And I made it through to the other side of the elevator. But again, no camera crews, no press to cover this. I'd fucking get through this shit. Narrow spaces, narrow holes all the time. Birthing was, They say people who were C-sectioned will often go through narrow holes in buildings to make up for the fact that they didn't slide through their mother's vaginal canal. No, wait, I was a C-section baby. Never mind. C-section babies are great, better than, regular babies, because regular babies are essentially, fucking their mom. So there you go. This guy, clearly not a C-section baby, but a little bit of a, I'll say it, a little bit of a, conceited, to say the least. You could say that. But, you take it the way you want to take it. I believe her name is Chloe Cole. She just won $2 million in a lawsuit. She's a detransitioner. She transitioned from she was a girl. She identified as a boy when she was a teen or a young girl. They transitioned her, or attempted to transition her into a boy. She changed her mind as an adult and realized what was going on, and she sued for malpractice, for medical malpractice. And malpractice is, it's very simple. You break it down. Anything you don't know, always break it down. Malpractice. That's when you break it down. 2 words. Mal. Shopping center. An area where people congregate to exchange money for goods like clothing, and maybe cell phones, gadgets, and maybe there's a food court. Malpractice. When you do things over and over and over and over and over until it just becomes a part of you. And that's so putting those two together, she sued for malpractice. It's not quite as big as a mall, because it's just one, it's a smaller mall. It's not malpractice, it's malpractice. It's a smaller, shopping center, I'd say that. It's not quite as big as a mall. It's malpractice, all right? So she's suing because they're practicing out of mal. And she's not into the whole transition. It turns out you can transition. Turns out it's just like genital mutilation. Turns out it's just like weird shit people did in the, during the World War, weird, Nazi doctors, human experimentation, and all that stuff. So it turns out it's more like that. So it turns out there's no trans kids. But also the moral of the story is, low key, if you look at your kid right now and you're like, man, I don't know if they're gonna be able to make millions, it wouldn't hurt, just putting ideas out there, it wouldn't hurt to get your kid on some, hormone blocking, medication for like 6 months to a year. Then come back, change your mind, detransition, and also sue and get money, get paid as a detransitioner. You know what I mean? Or like low key, look at your kid when they're like, 17, 18, look them dead in the eye and be like, long term, do you see them making millions and millions of dollars and being able to, become fruitful as adults? If yes, then never mind. If no, maybe cut off the tit, cut off one tit, cut off what about a nut? One nut, lose a nut, come back a year after once you're an adult, be like, I totally regret losing that one nut. Millions of dollars, you just lost one nut. What's one nut? You could still make babies with another, which is just one nut. And then you get a little plastic nut to, you got millions of dollars now. You can put one plastic nut in there. Who cares? So there you go. I just found a loophole for you if you want to get paid right now. If you and your children want to get paid, transition briefly, then detransition, get paid. There's going to be more of these cases coming out. There's going to be more of it's too late for me because I'm a full-blown adult. Can't turn back time. So not for me, but for you. Again, looking out for the people and trying to give back. You're welcome out there. You guys seen this videos of gay Chinese RoboCops roaming around? in parts of China. They're rolling it out. I say gay because it's pretty gay. These, when this is my whole issue with it. Like there's always been talks of us getting like RoboCops and robot cops and and just robots all around for other jobs and shit. But like, don't roll it out if it's if it's just like if it's doing bare minimum shit. If it's just a robot that's basically just a camera that's kind of looking like a human. It's not even. They didn't even put out the ones that walk. It's not the walk. It's rolling. It's rolling on wheels. I don't know how I feel about it, but again, I'm glad to see that it's not. Part of me says yes, we could definitely take on these gay RoboCops. Part of me says that if you're gonna put something out, put out the best for. I want to see the RoboCop that's fucking coming out there walking with a stride and just right there in the face of crime and just blowing. Emptying shells and criminals' heads with deadly accuracy. I want to see that RoboCop, not some, Flandrin, to roll around half a robot. It's basically a trash can on wheels and a camcorder attached to the head of it. So I don't want to see any of that. Roll out the proper ones. Until then, don't edge with this non-climactic tech reveal. Chinese robo makers, and basically this is a global PSA. If you're gonna put out put out the proper ones, or a guns a-blazing, walking, strides, 3 fingers, all of them are thumbs. That one, not some fucking Fruit Loop of a robot. RoboCop. No, it's not, dude. We've all seen the movies. Either give us the good shit or don't come here and be like, we got RoboCops now. No, we don't. No, we don't. I can kick that RoboCop right in the face and I wouldn't even flinch, or it would definitely flinch. It would tip over. It would tip over and die. That's what it would do. It wouldn't flinch. It would tip over and die. It's weak. I don't know why they put this out, but I found out it's recruiting. They're recruiting, and I didn't even know it existed. But apparently, there's a Japanese doomsday cult that's been around for some time that was responsible for 1995 Tokyo subway attack. I think they dropped the gas in the subway. I don't know the full deeds of this, attack, but this doomsday cult in Japan, it orchestrated an attack on the subway in Tokyo. It killed a bunch of people, injured a lot of people as well, releasing gases into the subway. I don't know exactly what they did, but I read the article. Read a little bit about the founder of the gang, which I need to go back and, again, amongst many things that I need to read. It's just interesting shit. Gotta read more upon him. This little blind kid, he's a blind Japanese kid, eventually became the leader of this doomsday cult gang, and he's dead now. They executed him. They hung him. But interesting, fascinating. What got my attention was that it said that the doomsday cult is not just alive, it's active, and it's recruiting and plotting more terror attacks. I'm not for a lot of the stuff that they do, but in terms of just like words that I like, doomsday, I don't like the doomsday, but I do enjoy just words based on the way they sound. Like I like ooze. That's one of my favorite words. Oozing. You just, it's just a nice sounding word. Doom and dooms. I like doom as well. Not the concept, it's just the sound. So, and I like Japanese. Anything Japanese, put it in front of me. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, oh, that's Japanese right there. So you put doom, and then doomsday, Japanese, and then cults. Everybody likes cults. We're all based upon cults, where this humanity's relationship with cults go back as far as basically the dawn of mankind. So you put all these 3 words together. So it's like, it's just a bombardment of, great sounding words, Japanese doomsday cult. And then you say they're recruiting and they're active and they're plotting shit. Now, again, I don't want to join ever, I don't want to, join a doomsday cult, but it is, if I were in Japan, I might if they're recruit, I don't know how they recruit, but I'm in a kimono, I'm in a, rope pulling competition with 3 sumo wrestlers, and whoever wins buys the next round of sake. It's and then low-key they just drop like a little invite, do you want to do you want to join a doomsday cult? It's Japanese. And I might just say, you know, I'm tempted. Not because of the activities out there, but just the way that sounds good in the ear. So I don't know why they put that article out, because up until yesterday, I had no idea this Japanese doomsday cult existed, but now I know it does, and it's recruiting. Can I join and not do the doomsday cult activity? Can I just be again, it's a lack of family and, you know, community for my part, but that's nothing for you to be concerned about. The point is that I'd get in there and, you know, it's a gang, we're a gang, and we're, you know, do we need to, you know, you don't need to go all the way to take it far to the doomsday level, just low-key, just you know, what about a Japanese day cult? Not a gay cult, that could exist too, but a Japanese, you know, what about just day cult? And cult activity is just whatever, we get together and there's a culture, we do things, and nobody needs to die at the end, but we eat sushi, we do samurai sword fights, we get naked, we bring, Japanese hoes, we go to a Japanese sex shop, we fucking do bukkakis while we're eating octopus, and getting a the master calligrapher to write on a piece of paper using nothing but his hands and ink that we just got fresh out of the mouth of the octopus and his tentacles, and there's plenty more of that. There's plenty more where that came from. Some guy massaging the octopus, just getting to release the ink, and it's low key. It's kind of a stress relief for the octopus, and trying to see if we can implement that same technique on people, but we're working on it. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just leave you with this. I'll say this, that I'll end with a poem, I'll end with a poem. Come here, get in the tub with me, little rubber ducky. I know I ain't got much, but with you I know I'm lucky. I'll grab your head and squeeze you in the water, squeeze you right enough, and you'll give birth to an otter. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out, get out of here.